Steady now.
Soul Reaver releasing turned out to be something of a miracle. After development of Blood Omen reached its end, relations between Silicon Knights and Crystal Dynamics fractured, resulting in lawsuits that would slow the sequel's development to a crawl. Amy Hennig and Seth Karras' Shifter concept became the full-fledged Legacy of Kain sequel, following significant development turmoil, releasing in 1999 to critical acclaim. Just shy of a year after launching on PlayStation, Nixxes Software would bring Soul Reaver to the Dreamcast, and it remains one of the most impressive ports the console would see. These touches shine brightly next to an already stellar game. Continuing from Blood Omen's bad ending, the land of Nosgoth is irreparably damaged due to Kain's refusal to sacrifice himself. The world is left in decay, repeated natural disasters leaving it uninhabitable by humans and ruled over by clans of vampires. Raziel is a part of one such clan, at least until his growth of wings spurs jealousy in Kain and leads to the latter ripping away his wings and throwing him into the Lake of the Dead. However, revived by the Elder God as the deity Soul Reaver, Raziel is resurrected and begins his quest of vengeance against Kain. Like the previous game, the narrative is remarkably well told, with excellent voice acting complemented by an extraordinary script for the time. Lengthy cinematics draw you in, a cloudy look into this deliciously gothic world that doesn't intrude on gameplay too much, proving perfectly balanced. The only major blemish is the underwhelming, rushed ending, which is a consequence of time constraints and cut content.
Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my Soul Reaver, my angel of death.
Soul Reaver feels incredibly distinctive for the time, mixing elements of platforming, puzzling, and combat into something resembling an open world. Raziel, as a wraith, can freely shift between the material and spectral realms. The latter often warps the environment, perhaps creating an opening that wouldn't exist normally. Time also freezes in the spectral realm, something which also aids in puzzling. The seamless transition between each is remarkable, and the lack of loading times remains impressive even on the more powerful Dreamcast. Raziel confronts several bosses throughout, often earning new power-ups in the process. These include being able to shift through barriers, swimming capabilities, and harnessing the Soul Reaver blade itself, albeit in a spiritual form. Like a satisfying puzzle itself, revisiting older areas with new abilities proves rewarding, as hidden locales and upgrades become accessible. The only hindrance to this is perhaps the ambiguous structure, including warp points which rely on mystifying symbols and a lack of a map, which combined can often cause confusion where to go next. It helps that the loose components are extremely well done too. Platforming works very well, with Raziel's glide ability working naturally, and steady camera movement providing a great aid alongside airtight control. It helps that the penalty for missing your destination is often minor, just a bit of backtracking. Puzzles, though perhaps leaning on the box moving variety a tad too often, feel like solid brain teasers, with some labyrinthine sections requiring sharp grey matter, especially when switching between the realms is often a necessity. Combat is perhaps not the strongest part, but works competently and has a vicious side. You can target foes, dodge quickly around, and strike. The strategy comes with disposing of vampiric enemies, as simply pummeling on them won't finish the job. Be it setting them alight, throwing them into water, or impaling vampires on sharp objects, you might come unstuck if you don't prepare. The only downside is targeting multiple enemies proves dodgy, though luckily this is a rarity. Perhaps the most interesting part of Soul Reaver is tucked away for explorative gamers to find. The lighthouse is a side area which rewards a spell, one of many glyphs that are optional. It proves a weaving, interesting and atmospheric joy to unravel. As players are forced to reactivate the dormant lighthouse, there's some puzzles and designs with real ingenuity here. Less frequent encounters with tougher vampires keep you on edge enough to make an impact, while the unsettling ambience and haunting track accompaniment ensure it sticks with you. It also proves an interesting component of Soul Reaver's development, as the Lighthouse demo would be the first playable version of the game, proving a stark contrast to the final product with different mechanics, no realm shifting, and other aesthetic changes.
You have done well, Raziel.
Am I reduced to this? A ghoul? A fratricide?
Elevated, Raziel, not reduced.
Soul Reaver was already a technically impressive game, but the Dreamcast port would add some significant improvements. Main character models would be completely reworked, adding an immense layer of detail not present before. While a lot of the other models are left untouched, environments and draw distance also see immense improvements, looking cleaner and better in the process. The frame rate is also given a significant bump to 60 frames per second, which runs extremely smoothly, bar a couple of segments. It's also a shame that some visual effects, such as snow, are locked on the previous frame rate. But make no mistake, if you're experiencing Soul Reaver for the first time, this port is perhaps the best way to do so. The sound is completely intact, including the high quality voice acting, clear sound effects, and the outstanding soundtrack from Kurt Harland, a techno-fueled journey with atmosphere, unease, and heft to spare. Soul Reaver remains an outstanding adventure, one which has earned its cult status in years gone by. The ambitious technology, absorbing world building, and mechanically strong gameplay gel together immensely well, proving compelling from start to finish. Once it latches on, those starting it will struggle to stop playing. Though it's a touch brief, taking a little over 10 hours even with thorough exploration, and the chopped ending remains a noticeable blemish, it doesn't stop Crystal Dynamics' effort from being brilliant. And Nixxes Software's Dreamcast port, with its technical upgrades and improved clarity, ensured a top-notch game would shine even brighter.
My tomb and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my